What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing Hardcore Henry, the new first-person action film out in theaters now. Whew, this is a movie. This is such an original movie. I have never seen anyone even bother to attempt to do this. Now, there's reasons why I would think that no one would even try to attempt to make this, because you know how everyone is a fan of shaky cam, and when we've seen movies like Cloverfield and The Blair Witch Project, you know, those films it kind of works with. But this is an action film. How is a man wearing a GoPro on the top of his head, with his head constantly bobbling back and forth, and the fight scenes, imagine that? How is that gonna play out in this film? Because I thought going in that it was gonna make me nauseous. You're gonna get tired of it. It's an original idea, doesn't mean that it had to be made. Or at least those were my thoughts going into the film. Now I will say that after I've seen the film, this is a much better film than I actually thought it was going to be. I really had the lowest expectations for this thing. But it is good in terms of that. The movie itself, while there are some things that I liked about it, but again, not a perfect film. I'm going to go ahead and say that right off the bat. I do like some of the characters. For instance, Jimmy, I thought he added a lot of comic relief, and doesn't matter which Jimmy we were looking at, because Jimmy made clones of himself. So we got each Jimmy is playing like a different character, and I thought he was probably the best part of the film. The story itself, we have Henry, half robot, half man, doesn't really remember anything about himself. All he does, he wakes up, he sees that he has a wife. His wife ends up getting kidnapped by this villain we'll talk about a little bit later, and he now has to go find his wife, kill this guy who might also have some kind of plot to use this technology that Henry has to build some kind of maybe army to destroy the world, possibly. And the movie is made by a Russian director, and it stars a lot of Russians. So it's finally like, I'm like, wow, when we have these actors speaking Russian, we have Russians playing Russians. Like, how, you know, that's great. How many times have we seen movies where we got Russian terrorists played by, like, British guys? It's like, what the hell? How does that... We can clearly tell, you know, there's just butchering the language. And it's so annoying, considering that I know Russian. So, finally pleasing to hear that. Now, let's get on to the villain. The villain, he kind of reminds me of the villain from Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, the guy who can rot things with a simple touch. But this guy, in this film, he actually has telekinesis. And I think that's cool, you know, considering how advanced this movie is trying to be. I think that's I mean, we don't get a whole backstory to how he got telekinesis, but I think it's pretty cool that they decided to give their villain telekinesis. On the downside, he doesn't really use it that much. We see that one scene where he's choking the guy with telekinesis, but that's about it. He really doesn't use his powers. It's like, did he need to charge himself to get those powers back? Why doesn't he use them? I mean, I felt like they really underused his special ability, and that hurt the villain a lot. There's also problems with story, and I don't even want to say it's problems. It's just more like, it's a very simple story. And while Mad Max, I will say, Fury Road, had a simple story, very enjoyable. This movie, simple story, not as enjoyable as Mad Max, but I wish it was a little bit more complicated. There was just nothing there that made me care for any of the characters, or you were simply just watching it because of its originality and the fact that this movie was shot from the first-person point of view. Otherwise, if we were to turn the camera back around and make it like a regular film, there would really be nothing interesting. I really didn't care for any of the characters. I was simply watching it and kind of enjoying it simply because of the way the movie was shot, because I've never seen something before. Not so much because I was really intrigued by the story or what was going on, actually. And the problem is, while it's original, some scenes with the GoPro from the first person point of view just don't work. I mean, it's an action film. There's a lot of shaky cam going on, especially when he's fighting, or if he like falls down or something. Oh my god. I mean, you're not even really sure what you're staring at exactly at. It gets really, you know, we see the camera just like spinning like freaking, it's like, whoa, what am I looking at exactly? So unless you're freaking high, you're probably not going to enjoy those scenes. Another thing that I had a problem with the fact that a lot of these, half the cast is Russian, and the movie is mostly in English. I mean, there are some subtitles. They do speak in Russian, but everything is subtitled. But there are times where they all of a sudden decide to speak in English, and they're not really speaking in English because all they're doing is moving their mouths, and we have some bad audio dubbing going on. And that's pretty annoying to watch as well. Henry is actually mute, so he doesn't even say anything. So all we see is Henry's arms. We see his legs, the guns, obviously. That's about it. So they really made it feel like a video game movie. So I think if you're not sure whether you want to see this film or not, just watch the trailer. I think the trailer does a really good job summarizing what exactly this film is going to be. It's not going to try and deceive you into thinking that it's something else. It is exactly what you're seeing. So if you like first-person shooter games or just games in general and you're just interested in just action films, I'd say go check it out. It's not something you're going to see every day or maybe even every decade. I don't think anyone's going to be attempting to do this. Now that it's done, no one's going to really go ahead and try it. I mean, how many years has it been and no one's attempted to do this? If you don't like the trailer, you probably won't like the film. And again, there are things not to like about it. It's not like you're going to be getting deep character development or a great story. You're just going to be watching for the action. And the action isn't like superb, but it's unique. And that's what makes this movie interesting. It's not a great movie. It's not a terrible movie. So in that case, I'm going to be giving Hardcore Henry a C-. Alright guys, that is my review of Hardcore Henry. Have you seen this film? Are you going to go see it? Comment your thoughts down below in the comments section. And as always, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up there. Comment and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time for more unboxings, reviews, and movie news.